This is the
Great Central Railway Class 9N.
They were intended for the London commuter trains. They proved to be a
great success,
only losing the London traffic when they had been displaced by more modern steam types, such as the
Thompson L1.
This displacement caused them to spread their proverbial wings as far as
Whitby.
Like many ex-suburban tank engine designs, the influx of diesel multiple units would eventually render them obsolete. In total,
0
have survived into preservation. Yeah, okay, I ken that was perhaps a bit too on the nose, but it just goes to show how similar the lives of many suburban tank engines were. That is not to say the 9Ns were unremarkable locomotives. The first members of the class appeared in 1911, their nickname Coronations reflecting the fact they appeared in the same year of George V's reign as crowned king. Designed by the great engineer John George Robinson and built by the Gorton Works, the 9Ns were built for one purpose: hold the London Marylebone suburban trains, and hold them fast. Supposedly, a 9N was timed at 70 miles an hour, though this is of course up for debate. In total, 21 would be built by the Great Central. Another 10 were ordered by the GCR, but these would not be completed until after the GCR was amalgamated into the London and North Eastern Railway in 1923. The class was credited by Richard Marsden as the first GCR locomotives to have superheaters, at first of the Schmidt type, though Robinson, not being a fan of complicated designs, eventually fitted locomotives with his own design of superheater. The 9Ns were held in high regard by their crews, and they were eventually entrusted with fast freights and more humble shunting work later in their lives. And besides the incredible 30-year career on the London Express suburban trains, the biggest testament to their performance was that a further 13 were built in 1925 for use in the Darlington area, with cut-down height in order to fit the universal LNER loading gauge. These 13 new members would be classified as A5-2 by the LNER, with the original GCR machines being classified as A5-1. But Scott, I hear you cry, why did you title this video The Failure of the Great Central? You have so far given only positive facts about the 9Ns. Why must you tarnish the name of the Great Central like this, Scott? Well, the GCR didn't become the GCR until 1897. Before that, the railway was known as the Manchester, Sheffield and Lincolnshire Railway, and as the name implies, it did not go to London. It was a railway doomed from the start. Its headquarters laid in the middle of a region which had plenty of railways, Greater Manchester. The whole of the MSL consisted out of alternative routes to destinations served by other, more established railways, namely the Lancashire and Yorkshire Railway. Even the MSL's most famous route, the Woodhead Line, was a duplicate of the North Staffordshire Railway's Transpennine route. It got to the position it held by the 1890s, that of an expansionist railway, by piecemeal. More and more money had to be pumped in to defy the Lancashire and Yorkshire. Indeed, the railway's initials, MSL, are also said to mean money sunk and lost. Under their chairman at the time, Edward Watkin, the MSL extended to London to give itself a better position and a new name, the Great Central. Whilst the name stuck, the better position never came. Its grand London terminus, London Marylebone, only had 4 platforms. The first Marylebone passenger train, usually a highly publicised occasion, had single-digit passenger numbers. Passengers already had the Midland Railway to reach the north via the Midlands. Why would they have to use the Great Central? The Great Central's lines were duplicates, the stations understated, and its costs were high. Small wonder the GCR lines would be almost completely ripped up under the 1960s rationalisation plans of its then owners, British Rail. Getting back to the A5s, they sort of symbolise all that was wrong with the Great Central. They were overqualified for work that was not there. They were the perfect way to test a new concept that would prove to be the way forward. In the case of the A5s, it was the superheater, and in the case of the GCR, it would be the eventual electrification of its Woodhead route by the LNER and later British Rail. And arguably, the A5s proved to be too useful to remain on Great Central lines. We've discussed ex-GCR designs being built for the North and even Scotland before. The first A5s to go were the A5-2s, which were confined to history by 1958. The original Great Central locos had suffered their first withdrawal in the 1940s due to an example with badly cracked frames. The original 9Ns were moved to the original MSL lines after losing their London duties to the Thomson L1s, which were themselves a surprise success on the express suburban trains. The original 9Ns did not last much longer than the LNER built A5s, all having been withdrawn by 1960. None survive, and the Great Central Railway itself was ripped up north of Aylesbury in 1966, with a section just outside Loughborough having been rebuilt as part of the preserved Great Central Railway. Indeed, they say the initials GC stand for Gone Completely. Perhaps, at the risk of creating an episode of Those Great Locomotives that is more opinionated than the usual offering, an otherwise overlooked suburban tank engine might reflect an unfortunate reality. Well, that was a bit different than the usual episode. Yeah, like I said, suburban tank engines usually all sort of have the same story. It's kind of the reason why I don't like to cover engines like this. It's the same reason why I don't like to cover small tank engines, because usually they all kind of suffer the same fate. They kind of have the same life of, maybe hauling short passenger trains, but mostly being confined to shunting. I might have made this episode because I have a Sonic model of an A5, which I do plan to make a video on. So stay tuned for that. Other than that, I have nothing to say. Thank you for watching, and I hope to see you in the next episode. Cheerio!